Alright, this is Turok, and this is chapter 1064. It came out last night. I'm going to read it now, and I'm so excited. So last week we had let me get a sip of coffee. Anyway, caffeine, get excited. So last week, a lot happened last week, didn't it? A lot happened the last few weeks, really. And so, last week we had two parts, two different scenes. I'm gonna call them scenes, yeah, kind of like in a movie. The first scene was Luffy and we got half the Straw Hat crew, not half, but Luffy. God, I almost said it. I almost said Sanji again. Luffy, Chopper, and Jinbei, along with Bonnie, with the one member of Vegapunk named Wrath, and wait a second, I'm trying to just get this display ready. I should double check that. I forgot. They just finished their conversation with Wrath and Wrath went on this tangent the chapter before this, 1063, about how they can't mass produce a lot of their great inventions Vegapunk's making. And then at the beginning of this scene, we have the Chopper, Luffy, and Bonnie having their fill of food there. But then they're attacked by at first they find a clothing thing and they change into outfits that look like we finally see other residents of this island come out of nowhere, like as if they were hiding when the Straw Hats came in. Edit that out. And so Luffy and them have these outfits which resemble the residents are wearing, which I thought was a little interesting because it looked kind of like coats, but they're in a tropical area. But because of the machine they have that's fixing that, keeping it that way. And the big thing that happens though is this area has a pacifista that looks like Kuma, and it attacks them. And Luffy goes in to fight it, to defend himself and his crew members. And Bonnie stops them because she, even though she knows this isn't really her, or it seems she knows, it's not really her dad. She's somewhat, I guess, traumatized by seeing it. And we ended the scene with the Kuma pacifista going after, shooting at Bonnie, and Luffy jumping in to save her. And the last scene, the big one, well, they're both big, right? They're both exciting. We found out that Blackbeard laid an ambush for whoever came to this island. I forget what direction it was again that Law ended up going. Was it the east one or northeast? I know I looked this up last week in my post video. But he was waiting to ambush whoever came this way. He predicted accurately that the Kid, Law, and Luffy would go separate ways from Wano and waited at this island, and it ended up that Law is here. And we found out about his other crew members. Most of his former crew members have devil fruits now, and the Doc Q is using one that allows him to put diseases. Seemingly he can craft unique ones too that wouldn't really exist. And the one he used on the Law, the Heart Pirates, is the one that changes their genders, which just caused some hilarity here. Just a moment where we had gender swapped characters, and I'm sure some people really loved that. It's kind of whatever for me. And we found out about the other fruits of the other members, with the exception of Van Augur, which, spoilers, I'm going to read the rest of the chapter without right now, but I did see the cover page, and it looks like Van Augur is not here, but was on Coco Island in Thailand, like we thought. And the last chapter ended with Law and Blackbeard squaring off, and they're going to fight over basically Blackbeard's there to take the road poneglyph rubbings that Law has. And I'm still unsure whether or not he has all of them or just some of them. But likely Blackbeard's here to get Law's fruit too. Which, by the way, I was thinking this week, I realized I don't know if any other members of Law's crew has devil fruits other than him. The only other member I can remember that's a formidable opponent, it could be a formidable opponent to anyone, is Beppo, the Minx polar bear. Because we saw he's a martial art user, and he went up against one of those pacifistas 2 years ago with amazing speed, and although he couldn't really do much against those, hopefully he got better and stronger since then. To recap, I don't want to go too long with that. Here we go, next chapter. Yep, it's at Kuzan or Aokiji with Augur, and they've kidnapped Pudding. It shows them on the deck of one of the ships, the Blackbeard type ships. They're standing together on the deck of a ship, facing forward, and they got Pudding in front of them, handcuffed. And we see, what else is there? We just see some other pirate, a little picture of a pirate behind them, cheering. Interestingly, Kuzan is dressed very similar to Van Augur with this cape and this loose white shirt and dark pants. Okay. Oh, here we go. We're resuming the fight with Blackbeard and Law. Woo! So Blackbeard's preparing to use the Guru no Mi against Law. Okay, so Law is countered with some kind of okay, yeah. Is that something he did with Big Mom? So so he forms a room and he cuts the Pegasus horse, Dark Q's horse, in half. And him and Law inside a room clashing. And also Blackbeard remarks how he didn't know that no one had told him that Law's power could do that. So he's been getting some information from somewhere too about them. He's trying to, so he must be kind of like doing what Big Mom has done, where he's getting information. Though this is more like he's trying to get combat information, it looks like. Also, Law remarked to the others to take care of the Polar Tang, their ship, while he fights Blackbeard. So this appears to be like at the moment there's going to be a one-on-one fight. Oh yeah, stronger. Okay, so yeah, so the quake of Blackbeard still ravages the land around there. We see Law's crew members being fallen down and whatnot from its earthquake, and then we switch to Doc Q, who's worried about his horse, and then he throws these apple bombs at the other heart pirates, and then one of them retaliates by using who is that one? I know I should know their names. One of them does some kind of attack that looks like shooting water or bubbles or something out to intercept the apples. Ooh, so what's going on here? So we see, yeah, the one who did that attack, he remarks that you guys are underestimating us because we're used to sea battles, so we're going to try and sink your ship. But then Beppo warns him to be careful because that Van Augur's there. So, yeah, sniper, see. And then what's his name? Oh, God, what's his name? It looks like Van Augur is going to try and shoot Law, but the big guy who joined the crew from Sabaody gets out in front of him to block the attack. And while that's happening, Law goes and uses this shock well against Blackbeard. Ooh, oh, he stabbed Blackbeard right through. And Van Augur makes a remark here. So it seems here that he doesn't like that they came here to fight Law, and he makes a remark about being in charge, half cocked. when you charge in half cocked, I should say. I gotta shave. And he warps up in front of Blackbeard and asks if they should retreat. But Blackbeard doesn't want to finish now that they've started. So Law is trying to is poking at Blackbeard to annoy. No, he's can't think of the right word here. He's pointing out like it must be hard to have all these devil fruit users because you got to worry about their weaknesses. But Blackbeard thinks that's well worth it. So they're squaring off on land now. What's he holding there? Oh, okay. So he's got a sword in one hand and he's got a room prepared in his left hand. Then we switch over to his ship that's getting attacked by the submarine. Oh, and then we go to the prison cell. Oh, here we are. Here's Pudding. So Pudding's on this ship. So we saw Van August. So that scene we saw at the beginning of the chapter was probably before this. Yep, so it's a close time. Now Pudding is on Blackbeard's main ship. And these other guys are pointing. Are these other prisoners or are they the guards? They're probably guards. They're saying, "Oh, don't get your hopes up." Basically, where we might be getting hit by the torpedo fire, but the Blackbeard can't be defeated. And she retorts that her mom, the Big Mom, is gonna make you eat those words. Oh, this Siri thing is on my old iPhone. Come on. She looks so bruised up. She must have put up a fight before they took her. So then we switch back to the fight, and Law and Blackbeard are clashing with Law using. Looks like he's using his sword to block the Quake Fruit powers. And then Blackbeard pulling out his darkness fruit and uses a black vortex. So now we switch over to Navy HQ and we see Akainu getting reports about Blackbeard and Law's fight. Now we're switching again. Holy shit! Now we're back on Egghead Island. So now we see the Pacifista shortly after it. Shortly after it must have used that attack. Oh shit. So what's happening here? The fight's over? But so now we got a scene where Bonnie's used her age fruit on Chopper herself. Is that herself too? Yeah, herself, Luffy, Chopper, and Jinbei, and now she's aged them all into 70-year-old selves. And Luffy's asking asking them, did you have to make us this old? And then he reminds her, this is not really your dad. And then Chopper's like, oh, Luffy, stop it. And it's hard for her to see this, even if it's not real. And so, and Jinbei chimes in on that too. Oh, here's a little backstory. So Jinbei brings this up. He says, nothing personal, Bonnie, but I heard some bad things about Kuma. And he was supposedly a tyrannical king of Sorbet, which is, he was called the tyrant. And he was deposed and forced to become a pirate. And we get a little image next to him showing Kuma with the standard look we recognize him in, wearing a crown and a little high collared, probably like one of those kind of cape, those standard, the classic cape-like things. Then we get some continued information here. Bonnie just is sitting there without saying anything, and Jinbei gives us a little more of information here. He was caught by the Navy. They found out he had ties to the revolutionaries, and they gave him a life sentence. And then Vegapunk found out about him, and he's the one who helped him. It sounds like he's the one who helped get Kuma to become be instated as a warlord. Oh, on the condition he became a specimen for body modification and cloning. Yep, cloning is here now. Okay, so pacifistas. Okay, they're not just near machines, then, are they? They must be kind of like cyborgs of sorts, and they're clones of him, just like the seraphims are. Okay, that's interesting. I wasn't thinking about the pacifistas being clones also. I thought that they were merely... I thought that they were merely machines modified, looking like him, but maybe they were clones too. But they only had his... Well, we don't know if he had his physical prowess per se. I think he's a lot stronger than those things. But they had his shape and size, but were just relatively strong compared to like 2 years ago. But they also just mainly fired lasers. And then, so Bonnie retorts, comes back here with like, why I get why he chose to be a warlord and help to make the soldiers, but why would he commit to becoming, losing his mind as well? And he just can't take that. And Jinbei says, I wonder what kind of crimes earned him a life sentence as a tyrant. And she goes on to say, like, he wasn't never a tyrant, and he hated the government too. So why would he commit to this? He must not have, and he must have been forced to. Okay, so while she's doing it, she pulls out some weapon. It must be something she found there. It looks like a lightsaber, and she's swinging it around. And Luffy's like, oh, that's awesome. Even in his old man, and they're all still in their old forms here. Except Bonnie, actually, maybe she wasn't in her old form. She just looked like an at first scene. She's not. Okay, she's in her normal form still. Actually, she almost looks like she is a teen form now. And the other's still old. So she mentions here. Oh, they mention here that this is apparently a scrapyard for Vegapunk's stuff. And then is this a scrapyard? I thought that maybe this was like the Jetsons era thing where they would have the stuff that, the futuristic stuff that he can't mass produce. Ooh, wait, what? So Bonnie here in this next panel says, well, first of all, she says about Vegapunk that he may just call himself a scientist, but I see him like as a murderer. Now she says something very interesting, that her dad had told her that he was part of a very special race. And then she just goes on, she don't care now, because now he's just being forced to become a lab rat. And then Chopper and Ella are like, wait, what? Oh, finally, we're going back to those Straw Hats now. So now we're seeing them with Lilith, and she's flying into the sky. It looks like they're over the island with, and she's holding the Sunny. Oh yeah, that world of tomorrow. So flying over the world of tomorrow that I'm calling the Jetsons. And now we're getting some other stuff here. What do we see here now? So now she's giving them a little tour of it, and we see this big thing at the top that looks like, it reminds me of the Daily Planet logo thing from the Superman with like, it looks like a half egg with something floating around it. And underneath it reads Punk Records. And anyway, so Lilith goes on here saying this is Egghead, the island of the future. The research stratus is right above the clouds. So that must be that part I just mentioned. The fabrication stratum is just below us. Manufacturers and research assistants, yeah, the ones we saw. I hear your captain is down to kind of a hullabaloo. As long as he's alright. Okay, so wait, are they seeing... Oh wow, we see a lot of neat little buildings here. Some of them look like very futuristic. One of them actually just looks like some kind of sauce bottle with smoke coming out of it. So the others are getting off the ship here, but Zoro and Brook are going to stay behind and watch the ship. So they get off the ship in an area where they look like they're on clouds, and some of them remark how this reminds them of the clouds from Skypiea. And she's like, Lilith goes on talking about, yeah, we can make this kind of stuff easily. She goes in all kinds of scientific terminology there. And then they're heading, looks like she's taking them to the main lab. Oh yeah, that's right, because they're going to see Skulka. Skulka? Did I say that right? And now everyone else is getting dressed up in the same kind of outfits that Luffy and the others had. Of course, it makes Nami and Nico look sexy looking. Oh, now we're switching to... Wait. Okay. Okay, so now we're switching to something at the end. Wait, what? So it looks like we're meeting Skulka and she's talking... I'm assuming it's she still. It's talking about Vegapunk, and I think Vegapunk here is going on with a monologue about being a genius also means you can know your own future. And he said, I think I'm going to die soon. And Skulka doesn't think, don't kid about that. Why would he? I just wanted you to know about this dragon. What the fuck does that mean? Wait. He's not dragon, is he? Wait, is this? No, I'm reading this right, I think. What the fuck? Oh god, now I gotta watch Luffy's episode. I wonder if he's got that up soon. Oh god, so anyways, the chapter's over here. That was a quick one. So we did this, this time we got, I wonder if it's even up yet. Just checking quickly. I'm really excited to, No, not yet. Okay. Yeah, wait a bit. Wow. To the right, Van Auger and Akiji kidnapped Pudding, but now she's on Blackbeard's ship. Oh, here's some color panels. Alright, so he dived in. Oh, that's a nice coloring of the Straw Hats in those future outfits. Oh, so we finally found, so there's quite a bit to unpack here. So, there's something interesting there I'm thinking about with Bonnie. She claims that her dad wasn't really a tyrant. And something about that does strike me as true, especially if he had ties with the Revolutionary Army. So if he was a revolutionary, having relations with them, maybe he wanted to, maybe that's it. I'll bet that Kuma was a fair, like a decent, let's say just at least a decent leader of sorbet, and he wanted to free the government. He wanted to free his kingdom from the government, but the world government found out about that through probably like Cypher Poll, and so they slandered him and made him appear to be a tyrant. Put this stuff in the newspapers so other nations and peoples know. Maybe they did something similar to what Crocodile did to make King Cobra look bad, and that caused his kingdom to turn against him and depose him as a king. I'll bet that was it. If what Bonnie says is correct, he probably got deposed on false accusations. Probably some other stuff happened that made it look like he really did it. Also similar to what happened with the king, Rebecca's grandfather, and what Doflamingo did to him. I'll bet you any money that he got deposed as a king and he was forced to become a pirate that way. And eventually the Navy did catch him. And they coerced him to, not coerced him, they wanted to just probably, they just threw him in jail. That's what it sounds like they did. They probably were going to put him in level 6 or something high like that at Limpel Down. But Vegapunk took an interest in him. So that's also something interesting. I wonder if Vegapunk can learn about, take a look at the roster of high-level prisoners or the list of them at Impel Down, and he may have in the past taken other ones as test subjects. So she said here he took an interest in her dad. Vegapunk took an interest in her dad and started using him to modify to use as the centerpiece of learning and mass producing cloned improved humans or things from that to make as weapons for the world government. Now I wonder there if that was something he wanted to do himself, or if that was part of some contract with the government where they wanted him to make new weapons and he thought this would be the best way. I'm going to go with that for now. So then, oh crap, what else was I just thinking with that? So now Bonnie, though, is wondering why her dad went through with modifying himself that much into losing his mind, essentially. And that I can't really think of a good reason right now why he would do that. Unless he's trying to... No, I was thinking like guilt, or if he's trying to hide something, but why would he need to do that if they already... I don't know. That's interesting. So next we know that there's something here about Dragon. Wait, Dragon. Is Dragon there? Am I reading that right? Or that makes me think that Stalko might be Dragon in disguise or something. The way the text is written is confusing me. I just wanted you to know about this, Dragon. Okay, I'm going to have to think on that one. So... Stalka is taken. It looks like the other Straw Hats, with the exceptions of Brook and Zoro, because that's right. We didn't find out here what Zoro said to Lilith about what he wanted to request of them, of Vegapunk to do. So maybe we'll find that out next chapter, though. We just see that they land here, and that Nico, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, and Frankie are probably about to meet, as well as Stalka, the real Vegapunk. Lilith looks like she's taking him to the main lab. So Stalka's there, and it looks like Vegapunk is talking about that he's going to die soon. So I'm wondering, though, why he hasn't done anything to himself to any kind of body modification for himself. Maybe he doesn't want to do that. So I'm wondering if he'll die if his... I'm thinking they're still clones. Yeah, I bet he's planning on passing, and he's gonna leave his clones in charge to continue his work. They all seem to be geniuses in their own right. They all seem to be a chip off the old block, or more so, really, of Vegapunk, and so they'll continue his work. I bet that's what he would want to do, which also begs the question of what it is that Ike is Zero. We still didn't see them today, this chapter. We saw them 2 chapters ago, yeah. What do they want? What does the government want, or why does it want to have all of the Vegapunks destroyed? So, what is it they know? What is it they are building? Maybe it's like that. Maybe Im-sama doesn't want this futuristic world stuff to be spread to the us. He doesn't want to uplift the societies of the world into this future. I bet he wants to keep them oppressed in some ways, and in this same, not to let them push past this technological barrier they're reaching now with their ships. They only can really, most people can only use sailing ships, and only the Marines now have got like steam paddle boats, or maybe the coal powered, something like that, where they can move through the combat without worrying about the wind. And Vegapunk here is an opportunity because Wrath even said that she wants to mass produce this stuff for other people and maybe to sell it. Maybe she wants to make a profit off it. Well, to some degree, that's not a bad thing. She probably wants that for research funds, the Vegapunks, all of them too, and continue their stuff. Not that they're going to become greedy people like Wapol or someone else, or a corporate entity you would imagine in the real world where they're just making too much money. And I think Vegapunk really wants to improve the world, but they don't get enough money. And if they could sell some of that stuff, they would be able to continue improving that stuff. But anyways, also to help people, to uplift people. And I bet Im doesn't want that, or the Gorosei. They're using Vegapunk's genius to help further their ends, but that's all they want. So they'll probably, if they're coming out to destroy Vegapunk, they must think the Seraphims he's made, these second gen clone pacifistas, I'm thinking they think between that and having the whatever that weapon is, that's enough for them to control the world. It's very interesting too. I just thought, if devil fruits have been around a long time, why has Im-sama never tried to go out and do what Blackbeard is and collect more of those and give them to his the Marines or other people, and if he wanted to help subjugate the world and keep under his control? Why has he turned to science? That's interesting. So we have two things here. Why hasn't he turned to science to why did he have to turn to science to keep his to keep control of the government? Is that because he couldn't do anything to stop devil fruits or to get the devil fruits? Maybe Blackbeard has the only method of getting devil fruits, and Im-sama couldn't. There's something too. I wonder there if Im-sama could not get the let's say for a second the darkness fruit that Blackbeard has is the only way to take devil fruits from people without having to outright kill them all the time, which is hard when some of these devil fruit users become very formidable, like Big Mom or Kaido. So Im-sama is worried about that threat. He probably would collect them if he could, but he hold on, just turn my screen on longer. So he can't collect all the devil fruits, and so he's discovered Vegapunk, and he's having him create a scientific counter to the existence of devil fruits, and the fact that most of them have gone into the hands of people who oppose the government one way or the other. Usually pirates, but you could say revolutionaries, anyone who doesn't want to be under the control, under the oppression and those rules of the I was searching for another word, I can't think of it. The rules of the government. So he's had Im-sama's turned to science to take over the world and to keep it under his control. And so this is an interesting dynamic we got here, where Blackbeard wants to take over the world, and he's doing it through the means of devil fruits. He's somehow gained knowledge of how to steal devil fruits. I bet that's why was part of his plan, whether it's the darkness fruit or not. I bet his main plan all along is that he figured out that he's a normal person. He's a special lady. Ooh, there's something too. That he's special somehow. He's been grown up knowing he's special, but also he's had to live it rough, and he's had to be very coy and sly about himself because he's probably was orphaned somehow. But he figured out how to steal devil fruits at a young age, and he's been slowly waiting to enact this plan, and now this is it coming to fruition. And he somehow, along those points too, discovered what the One Piece might be, or that it could help him it could be the linchpin of his plan that will help him take down the government. That having all these devil fruit users is formidable, but the Marines have quite a few too, and then there's all the pirates that he has to contend with, and he's slowly dismantling that by letting the pirates fight each other, and then he just takes out the ones that he thinks he can. So we have an interesting dynamic here. We have two foes, two evils. One already controls the world. One wants to usurp that and anyone else. And the way they're drawn about it is very interesting. Also, the special race. I wonder if that thing with Kuma has anything to do that's similar with Blackbeard, where Blackbeard seems really abnormal. And that the way that, God, we never learned that, did we? We just had friggin' Marco several chapters ago, and he was about Wano. We didn't find out anything about what he could have thought. What Blackbeard, he should have warned them. Maybe he could have with Nico, but what did he know? What did he think when he realized that Blackbeard is unique in the way he takes damage and something's different about him? I wonder if that's related to what Bonnie's saying. Maybe there is another race here. Like, we just learned about Lunarians. We learned they're a unique race. And now we see that Vegapunk's using them as the means, probably through King, or if he has other test subjects. I'm going to assume there could be other test subjects he has too somewhere. What if there is another race that's unique like Lunarians, and that's why he wanted Kuma? And now he's mixing, maybe he's going to use Kuma, whatever he learned about Kuma, with the Lunarians to make this ultimate weapon. That'd be interesting to figure out. Holy shit. Now I still haven't got on to what else is really happening with the fight here. So far Laws actually was doing a little better here in this fight than I thought against Blackbeard. But now last we saw, he looks like he's about to use his dark fruit. So I don't know what Law's got to do to stop that, but that'll be interesting to see. And Blackbeard definitely can take damage, because Law looks like he just did something with his sword. Is that what he did to Big Mom? Now I gotta review the Big Mom fight he had. He forced his sword, he extended his sword, and he pierced Blackbeard right through the gut, right through his stomach there. Oh, Jean Bart, the one who is that guy there, the big guy. Oh, so Beppo saw Van Auger preparing to shoot at Law, and Jean Bart jumps in front of the bullets. He jumps between Law and the bullets to stop Law. I bet they were sea prism stone. Oh wait, so what are those fishmen he's got? I think I must have forgotten this, but I think a couple of these members of Law's crew of fishermen, it looks like they're swimming here in this outside the polar tang. Wait, where was that picture? Right there after the apples. One of them pops up out of the water. Oh yeah, some of them are in the water, and when Doc Q throws the apple at him, at the ship, because it's going down, because they're bombs, he shoots water to stop them from hit before they reach because there's the ship, there's Blackbeard's ship to the right, there's the island to the left. Yeah, and Doc Q was right near the ship there when he got stabbed by Law. Blackbeard must have made it to the island. And that guy stopped the apple bombs. And now it looks like them and the Polar Tang were going right for Blackbeard's ship. Ooh, that'd be nice. What if they're able to rescue Pudding here? Even if Blackbeard wins, what if Pudding can get away with the law pirates, lost pirates? That would certainly be a nice change. Able to keep Blackbeard on the ropes, as it were, from getting all the getting everything he needs. We'll have to see how that happens. Pudding certainly can't do anything at the moment. So, oh, I didn't even see that little caption. When Pudding says, that's right, that would be bad. Pudding says, you better be careful. My mom's gonna take care of you. The other person by her laughs and says, you do realize we're fighting her killer, which means because Law was one of the ones that defeated her, supposedly killed her. I don't think she's dead. So she gets, even if she has escaped, she's gonna be pretty pissed because she's still, I don't blame her either. She still loves her mother, even if she realizes her mother is awful to her and only wanted to use her. But I think all these kids, even we met, and this was it Lola? Or the one we met, she clearly still loved her mother, and she even thought her mother would be able to help the Straw Hats, which was very odd still. But yeah, Pudding still loves her mother there very much, and she's here hoping that I don't know how she expects them. Oh, maybe she doesn't realize Big Mom's been defeated until right in this scene. I bet no one's told her that. They haven't probably heard the news about Kaido and Big Mom's defeat just yet, maybe. So how the hell did Blackbeard learn about it so quickly? Wait, no, the news reported on it, that's right. Duh. But how come they wouldn't know about it? Maybe she hadn't got the news when she got kidnapped. That's probably it. So she doesn't know about that, I bet, and everyone else does. Also, that begs the difference. I was talking about information. How does Blackbeard know about Law's power so much? Or maybe he knew about it because I wonder if Blackbeard has any other connections with the world government, or other pirates that have fought against. Oh well, he is on. If it's pirates, he is on the island where pirates frequent too. I bet, even though he controls the island, I bet he hasn't cut it off from other pirates coming in and docking and restocking and going out, like lesser ones, maybe the ones that aren't a threat to him, and maybe he asks them, anyone who comes by, if they fought any of these more formidable pirates like Kid or Law, and he gets information by them and then lets them just go off on their way. And also he could just let pirates come in because he may want to observe any that have devil fruit powers, so he can steal them. So maybe Blackbeard's doing that. That would be an interesting way to run his business. He lets pirates come in. He says, yeah, come in. I know I took over and I'm a Yonko, but everyone can come in. This is a free pirate haven. I'm not going to be like Big Mom or Kaido who shut off their islands from commerce from other pirates coming in. But then he does it as a cover to see who comes in with powers, and then he can also have his men chit-chat with these guys at the bars and other places and find out anything useful about devil fruit powers and who else he might have information useful to him about other pirates and whatnot. Because he seemed to know quite a bit about Law's power here, and he's never fought with him before. And they weren't warlords together. Blackbeard's warlordship ended as soon as he came to Marineford, and Law became a pirate warlord sometime after, so there wasn't any rubbing contact between them there. So he definitely received information about Law from somewhere else. Maybe the papers mentioned some of it too. So, oh, that's right, I missed too. This pacifista, I didn't even realize this earlier. The pacifista here stopped attacking them. So the reason Bonnie changed the other Straw Hats into older formers, by doing that, the pacifistas didn't recognize them. Okay, so she probably did make herself look younger here. Yeah, she must have. So she changed her age, but she made the others all older, and and that made the passive just stop because it's like doesn't recognize them for some reason. It's probably only using basically like an imaging. It's like it has like an image. You ever see like those sci-fi movies like I'm thinking like RoboCop, where it shows his vision through his eyes, and he could have these little pictures come up of people he's looking for, and he can play back audio and stuff. This thing's probably using something like that, where it had specific images of the Straw Hats in its head, in its uh, in its database, its hard drive, that it knows what they look like, and once they change age, if they change their age, it can't it won't attack them anymore. And the fact that they're in those outfits might help. That might just think they're maybe I'll just think they're other researchers there. So what was I just thinking about that? Wow, what a fucking chapter again. Now we got the other Straw Hats gonna meet Vegapunk probably. What does that read? Lab Zero? Also, we got a better picture this time of Stalko's helmet. It's real cool looking. It reminds me of the red, what's his name? Jason Todd from Batman. He's got the red, what's he called? Yeah, Red Hood. So in the Batman Arkham games, Red Hood had this really cool, futuristic outfit. And that helmet that Stalko is wearing just reminds me of that. It's got like a big glass looking visor. It ends with like a metallic jaw stuff. But it's very dark and you can't see anything in it except the number one. It's on her left side. So that's a neat look. And it looks like they're wearing some kind of dark cloak-like thing. Oh, probably just one of those coats, right? The coat with the collar. It's not wearing this. Oh, that's right, because Lilith was wearing them too. We don't know anything else about what they're wearing other than the Stalko's wearing, other than his helmet and the coat. Oh, that's what this could mean. Duh. Last thing I can think of. There at some point, I forget what I was supposed to be. I've heard that Dragon and Vegapunk may have some kind of Vegapunk may have tied to the revolutionaries. There it is too. Vegapunk may have ties with the revolutionaries. So he may be trying to tell, he probably hasn't told his other Vegapunk clones about this. And the fact that he's going to die means he's probably telling, maybe he has a secret plan here. Oh. Maybe he has a plan here to help the revolutionary army take down the world government. And that could be why Igus Zero is there. He may have information, he may have weapons there that can supply the world government. I said last time in my last video that the world government wants to is always trying to take all these threats to them. Vegapunk could be trying to make supplies for the revolutionary army, and he has to tell them where it is, and the Igus Zero is going to stop that so that he doesn't cause a problem that way. Also, maybe that's why Kuma has done something with himself here. He probably trusts Vegapunk because he had ties with the revolution. They both are part of the revolutionary army. And so he's like, Vegapunk and him had some plan going on here to do this, to achieve something here. Maybe that's why Kuma's at Bourgeois. Maybe he's secretly there to cause some kind of mayhem or achieve an objective there. And they just think he's been, they don't know anything about it because they think Vegapunk just modified him and his brain is wiped clean. Maybe it isn't. Oof. And then Bonnie just probably doesn't know about that. Yeah, she probably just doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't seem to know anything about the Revolutionary Army stuff. Well, Jinbei told him about the ties of revolutionaries. She never brought that up where she knows about that. So he probably still didn't tell her much about what it means to be, why he's part of the Revolutionary Army, or what he was doing with the Revolutionary Army. I'm surprised he hasn't thought about that more, because the Revolutionary Army would mean if he had ties with that would mean maybe she does know a little bit, because she's saying he's not a tyrant, but she never. Why did she never contact the Revolutionary Army? Or maybe she had and had no luck. So Dragon, I wonder how much Dragon knows about this plan. I'm betting though he didn't tell Sabo much about it, because Sabo and the others that were at Marishwa were really upset when they saw Kuma the way he was there. So that's interesting. Now we're gonna find, maybe next chapter we'll finally find out a bit more here about what Vegapunk and Kuma's plan is. Oh, there's another thing too I forgot. I was talking earlier about the dynamic of the devil fruit versus Blackbeard on one side, and we got Imsama using science. Vegapunk has been trying to learn about the devil fruit origins. Maybe that's the other thing with Imsama. He wants to find out more about devil fruit so he can stop them, since he can't do anything himself and he can't gather them. He doesn't have a means to, like Blackbeard does. He wants Vegapunk to learn about them and help decipher this so that he can put them down. I bet. I'm thinking he wants to control the world. He needs to stop them, and he needs someone who can help him. Imsama needs someone who can help him figure this out, and Vegapunk is the man. I wonder if he's already got that information, though, or some of it, and that's why he wants Zero to put him out now, too. Maybe they want to get rid of. Maybe Im wants to get rid of him because Imsama assumes he has everything he needs from him. I talked about the weapons, the pacifistas, but maybe it's research that Vegapunk has handed over to the government about what devil fruits are. And by having that now, Imsama assumes that Vegapunk has lost all usefulness now and needs to be put down, as well as the fact that he might be with the revolutionaries and he could hand that research over to them, which I kind of hope he already has. Which also makes me think maybe the devil fruits do have something to do with, maybe they have something to do with the opposition all this time against Imsama. Maybe they're related to the will of D, the clan of D, and that's just part of maybe that was part of the way they created weapons to fight the world government. But now the devil fruits have just become dispersed after the war, during the war, or other conflicts, where the devil fruits now just become dispersed among pirates and marines. Maybe they were never meant to be that way. Maybe they were meant as a way to fight the world government and the celestial dragons back then. And even though the clan of D, if this is true, like if the clan of D failed to use them to fight Imsama, the devil fruits have still become a thorn in the side of Im and his regime, the government, and now he needs a way to stop them. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that for now. Also, Akainu was here. So Akainu is talking about being forced to wait. And he's really frustrated here that he can't take action. That's an interesting point. Why can't he or any other admirals just go and help go in after? There's something too. So I was talking about why the Marines just don't go after the Big Mom pirates or someone else, because I really think the Marines have enough high-level officers that could really, especially the admiral, unleash their full powers the way we saw Green Bull, that they could go after a Yonko crew, especially if the said Yonko is gone. Maybe there is something there where they're forced to wait because they forced to wait for some reason. So the government's not letting him, is holding back him or even Sengoku in the past from doing what they would like, going around more so as they would like to take out these pirates before they became such a big threat. Which makes me think what I've said before about the Imsama wanting this chaos to happen is true. If with Akainu making a statement that we have to always wait. So what do you guys do? How do you fight pirate? You don't. So yeah, you don't get to fight the Yonko. You have to wait every time. If something else happens, you can't. Oh, there's something there. I'm sure of it. I'm sure the Yonko could have been stopped a long time ago, and Imsama was stopping it. not letting the Myers. The Goro say maybe are doing it too. They're the ones that are working there. They passed the order down to Kong, who's, what do they call him? I forget his position. He's the one above Akainu and Son Goku before that. So after this, I'm going to have to go back to the Big Mount fight too. I'm going to see here. Also, it looks like here, this Blackbeard's plan here, he probably didn't have. It looks like Van Augur is more of a is someone who likes to have a lot of backup plans or like a well laid plan, and Blackbeard didn't have one with this, and he's upset coming here to fight Law or whoever would have came, and he wants to retreat here, but Blackbeard's like the boss, so he says no, we're gonna finish this. So I wonder if there's some conflict there with how Blackbeard does stuff with someone like Van Augur. Oh, wait a minute. I said something wrong there earlier, didn't I? I got a correction here. I think I said here this is Van Augur with Aokiji. I was thinking that would be Laffitte with Aokiji kidnapping Pudding. So where the hell is Laffitte? We still haven't seen him. It looks like Van Augur was the one who went with Aokiji to kidnap Pudding. So shit, I was thinking, because we see Laffitte here. So that's probably how they got in. Maybe, I bet that's how they went in too, to kidnap Pudding. Van Augur is here with Aokiji, and they could have just got close to Big Mom's territory. Maybe they would have taken out a ship or two if they had to, but close enough where they could teleport to Coco Island, and then Aokiji could just freeze up the island. Now, I don't know, was Cracker and Brûlé already there? Or did they come in response once? They probably came, I bet, because Brûlé can teleport them there through the mirror world. She has her own thing that's kind of like Van Augur, though not probably as efficient. They probably came there to fight them off, but fighting someone like Aokiji was just too much for Cracker, and he may have still been weakened after losing to Luffy too. So where the hell's Laffitte? I thought Laffitte would be the one there, because now Van Augur is clearly there, clearly on this island with Jesus Beezus. I'm thinking of that skit, that Eddie Izzard. Jesus, Burgess, Van Augur, Doc Q, and his horse. They're all there, but Laffitte isn't yet, so we don't know where he is, and we still don't know what his fruit is. Shit. I made that, I think I said, I wonder if I realized that when I started this video. I'll look at the editing later. So they're there, but now Aokiji's gone somewhere else, because he's clearly not here. Yeah, it's only Stronger, Doc Q, Blackbeard, Van Augur, and Jesus. Jesus? Yeah. So Blackbeard does have again too, Van Augur looks a little upset that they're came here and they're not quite ready to fight. He probably feels, I wonder if he feels like they should have brought more of the captains, the other ones. What's her name? I can't think of their names right now. I know I had their names before. The other captains to help corral Law's party. I definitely feel like that's something too. I feel like that if the other, with this amount of crew members here, if they had gone up against Luffy and the others, that Luffy and the other Straw Hats would have forced them back at least, because they would have been, without Blackbeard's other captains there, I really feel like Luffy and the others would have won that contest, and that Law having less Devil Fruit users and strong members on par with like himself is putting him at a disadvantage here. So I hope he's all right. We've seen he's doing pretty good so far, but that Black Vortex thing is going to be tricky to fight. And by the way, it's great we're seeing more Blackbeard. It's like it really shows that we're in the end game here. And by the way, too, Pudding looks like she got pretty well beat up. I wonder, does she have any other powers? She must have put up a good fight before they caught her, though, if she's all bruised up. Unless they're doing that because she's not cooperating. Hopefully they haven't harmed her in any other way. And I think that's it today. Uh, Also, too, oh, one more thing, actually. If freaking Vegapunk has a connection with Dragon, maybe Luffy's gonna find more out about Dragon in this next few chapters. If Vegapunk has to pass on some information and he can't get it to the revolutionaries, maybe he'll give it to the Straw Hats, because they're a common enemy to the government too. And this will finally bring, oh, there we go. What if he gives information to Luffy and now he's forced to leave Egghead Island and find Dragon so that they can work together to figure out more about what devil fruits are or how to take out Eam? I bet that could happen. This could finally be the thing that brings together Luffy and Dragon for the first time in 1,000, what's it been now since we saw Dragon? 1,960 chapters or something like that. This could probably finally be what will do that. So hopefully we'll figure out more there about that. What was I just gonna say too about that? That the other's gonna meet Vegapunk. Maybe I'm wrong too about Vegapunk wanting to. I was worried that Vegapunk would look at them only as cause I had forgotten about this connection with the revolutionaries. That he would want to take the Straw Hats and make them into test subjects like he did with Kuma. But I'm starting to think more that Kuma's thing becoming a test subject was something he had to do partially because he was doing it for the world government, but it was also part of a multi-layered plan among him, Kuma, and Dragon to keep the government on their side long enough for them to achieve some goal here. Also, I wonder if we'll find out too if he's made any more devil fruits research headway that we could find out about mass producing them. That is the way he tried to with Kaido's fruit, and then Momo got it. And what are those numbers they're wearing? 400. Is that 400 on Nico? Also, by the way, when the others get outfits on, Sanji's got a tropical shirt, kind of like Jinbei did, instead of the jackets and stuff. And Usopp's got one that looks like the same thing Lilith is wearing, a one-piece suit with a jacket. Meanwhile, Nami is wearing a top part is one piece, but it's like it's pantsless. It looks like, and Robin's is the same, though she's only got a jacket over her top. It looks like she's not wearing any shirt underneath. At least I can tell because she's kind of in the background there. So Oda and his sexy drawings. I think I'll end it there now.